So you know how people like do like, okay, so like push their nose aside and like hawk like like they hawk like a loogie. Y'all, why did he do that? What's the word, YouTubers? Sierra Celeste back with another video. Bad girls like it tough, don't you wish you could roll it up? Tough to haters can't get enough. Welcome to the Bad Girls Club. Bad girls. Okay, so boom, baby. Today we got another story time for you. Follow me on Instagram, Sierra.Celeste. Follow me on Twitter, Sierra Celeste. 2 baby girl in the vibes. Period. Today's story time is going to be about the worst. And I'm talking like, I've been on a few dates that's been trash, you know. But this date was just like creepy. Like, this was last summer I went on this date. So I went on this date with this dude, and this was like probably a few weeks before I was about to move to New York. So let's see, what we gonna call him? We gonna call him Skinny. So Skinny slid in my messages or whatever, and he was just like, just casually talking to me, swiping up on my stories, you know the vibe. So then I would always go to Smoothie King on Fridays because you know they had that $5 deal or whatever. So he was like asking me about the deal. So I'm telling him. So he's like, oh, do you want to go together? But when he said that, he sent that like a few days after. So I was like, go where? He's like, go to Smoothie King. So I'm like, oh, okay, you know. But when he asked me that, I'm not really thinking it's a date. I'm just like, okay, we're finna get some smoothies, you know, slice shit, whatever. So then he's like, cool. So we were supposed to go like the upcoming Friday, but then I end up going to KCGP, which is like a Greek picnic. So then I completely forgot about it. So we tried to reschedule. So when we did reschedule, he called me like, well, he texted me like 30 minutes before and was like, oh, I can't make it because of blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, whatever. But then he ended up rescheduling, so I knew he still wanted to go on a date with me. I had this thing on my job, so he asked if he could come because at my job I was working with kids, and so he worked with kids too. So he's like, oh, can I come? So I was like, cool. So he came or whatever, and everything was okay, but like this was my first time meeting him, so like he was a little off. When he first came in, he didn't say hello, which I thought was weird. Then when he left, he didn't say goodbye. Like, we just started talking. Like, we just didn't say hello. And then so I texted him, I was like, why you didn't say goodbye? And he's like, oh, why am I going to say goodbye when I'm going to see you tonight? Tonight? Like, I was thinking like, whatever. He tried to slide that really smooth, basically just so he can link with me tonight. So we end up, so when we linked, it wasn't really like a date or nothing. We just he just came to my house, watched the movie, and then we was just talking and stuff, and then he started flirting with me. And mind you, like I said, I didn't know Smoothie King was like a date for real. I didn't know he liked me or anything because he never tried to like flirt with me through messages or whatever. So when he was flirting me at my house, I was like, okay, I see you. And then I'm feeling the vibes or whatever. I'm like, I'm still trying to feel him out because I don't know him for real. But he's leaving. He gives me a hug and he kisses me, and I was like, mind you, I hadn't kissed nobody in like a solid minute. Like it'd been a minute because I hadn't liked nobody in a minute. So it was just like different. It was like, okay, it's like caught me off guard or whatever. So then he's like, oh, do you still want to link tomorrow to go to Smoothie King? So I'm like, yeah. But when he came over my house, I had let him know, because he asked me what my future plans was and stuff like that. So I had let him know that I was going to New York. I was moving to New York. So he kind of bummed out about it because it's like, now we can't date for real. But I'm telling you this now because I think this is what changed the way the date happened the next day. So the next day comes, so I get ready, I get cute, I put a little outfit on, do my hair, I'm cute. Pull up to Smoothie King or whatever, get there and he's not there. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like 5 minutes go by, I'm like, okay, whatever. On my phone, 10, 15, 20 minutes.
2,000 years later.
I'm like, sir, where are you at? Like, I swear, like 30, 40 minutes went. He was 30, 40 minutes late, y'all. 30, 40 minutes late. And so basically he texted me and said, I heard he had some excuse, but he ended up showing up or whatever. And so I'm thinking in my head, like, Smoothie King was only 5 minutes from my house. Like, I could have still been at the crib. You could have texted me when you was there and I could have met you. Like, but whatever. So he walks in and he doesn't say hello to me. Like, he just gives me this. He says, walk, walk, walk. Nah, you know how niggas nod to niggas? That's what he does. And then he walks to the table and then we go get food, go get our smoothies. And I'm like, okay. No hug. No, I'm sorry, I'm late. Nothing. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we get our smoothies, and I still wasn't sure if it was a date or not, but he paid. So I'm like, oh, it's a date. So we go outside, sit outside or whatever, start talking. So first it was really awkward. Like, I don't know why it's awkward because we just linked yesterday, but it was like we started talking, but then it was like on and off, whatever. And I just picked up on some of the things he did. Like, he was kind of mean, low key. Like, it would be people coming, okay, so it'd be people walking, and he would stare at them, literally stare at them. And I'm like, sir, like, why are you, like, it wouldn't be like girls and nothing, but just be like random people. He would just be staring at them, and then he would talk about them. And I'm like, you were so mean. Like, he was low-key nasty too. So like, you know how people, I don't do this, but I seen this in movies. So you know how people like do, like, okay, so like push their nose aside and like hawk, like like they hawk like a loogie. Y'all, why did he do that? Why did he do that, y'all? I'm looking like, oh my gosh, like the ghetto. Like, that was so nasty to me. So like I said, the conversation is pretty dead right now. So somehow we got on the topic of if he had a friend that was gay, his friend, they could be friends. You know, they could be friends. He don't care about that. But he just doesn't want the gay friend to tell him about his relationships with other men. And so I was like, dang, but y'all friends, like, what if he wants advice, or what if he wants, you know, something, whatever. He's like, okay. If he wants advice, I'll give it to him, but I don't want to hear about nothing sexual, blah, blah. And he was really like, what is it, homophobic? I think that's what, yeah, he was very on that. He was like, did not want to hear nothing. So I'm trying to like kind of pick his brain a little bit, open him up, like, you, like, it doesn't mean that he's going to try to have sex with you. Like, he's not going to try to come on to you. Like, y'all are friends. Y'all should be able to come to each other. Like, you putting this gay as like a barrier or whatever. But he was not on that. So once we opened that conversation to kind of talk about sex, that's when the door opened, baby. And so the date was like 3 hours long, because I remember looking at my phone. So the first hour, conversation was dead. Them last 2 hours, it was nothing but sex, baby. Nothing but sex. And it got to the point where I was like uncomfortable. Because like, I don't be talking about, like, at that time, I really wasn't, like, didn't care for sex, like, at all. Like, I wasn't even trying to do none of that. So it's like, when he was talking about it, it was like, first it was like small things. Like, he would ask me things. Then it got into like straight blunt questions, baby. And so this is gonna get a little, he definitely got a little inappropriate. So if you don't want to hear, if you type that don't want to hear about sex, then, you know, it's okay to click off this video. But he was asking me like, he was asking me like, do I masturbate? And he was asking me when's the last time I had sex. And then at that time, I hadn't had sex in like a few years, because like I was healing, you know, healing from a situation that I was in. So like I said, at that time, sex wasn't even on my mind. But I felt so pressured in that situation to be like up to his level. So I ended up telling him like, oh, it's just a few months ago. I'm lying, but I was like, oh, it's just a few months ago. A few months? This is him. A few months? You haven't got off in a few months? Like, really made it a big deal. And I'm like, y'all, this is first date. First date. Really made it a big deal. And then when I told him I don't masturbate, he was like, really made that a big deal too. Then he's talking, y'all. He's talking so sexual, so vulgar. So I look at him. I said, "What's your body count? What's your body count? What's your body count?" From guys that I know that talk like this, body count be up here, up here, up here. So I asked him. He was like, first he said, "I don't know." I was like, damn. But then he said, hold on. Let me think. If I had to estimate, I would probably say 86.
Oh no, security.
86. How can you keep count? 86 bodies? You slept with 86 different women? So when he said that, I was instantly like, nope. You know, as an adult, body count shouldn't matter. It should really matter if you're clean. But like 86 people, like, sir, that's a little dirty. I don't know. But at that time, my stuff was low. My stuff was like, uno. So when he said that, and then he asked me mine, I ended up upping mine up a little bit because I'm like, I'm gonna look like a baby if I say 1. So I'm like, oh, it's like 3, you know. And he's like, oh, okay, not bad. Not bad. So he asked me, when's the last time I got off, basically, you know. And I told him, like I said a few months ago. And then he was like, oh, well, I want you to go home tonight and get off. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then he just kept pressing it, y'all. He just kept telling me, like, do it. Like, really, like, pressing, like, this is the first date. Sir, calm down. I'm telling him no, like, he just keeps saying it or whatever. So then he's like, oh, can I help you? Sir, get out my face. Just go. Just go. Because now you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Like, you're doing too much. Also, this is just a little side note that I forgot to add. So y'all remember how he kissed me like the night before the actual date? So when it came to the actual date and he was talking to me all types of ways, and you know, he could really see that I wasn't really feeling his vibe, he asked me and like basically pressed me and was like, so why did you kiss me the day before? And I'm like, did you not want me to kiss you? And then he's like, oh, you know what I'm saying, don't play with me, why did you kiss me? Like getting real, like kind of aggressive. And I really didn't know what to say to him, but he really like got mad. Too much. And so the reason I said that, like, the date before kind of set the tone for the date at Smoothie King was because once I told him that I was moving to New York, I could tell his body language changed. Like he was like, ugh, like maybe it was like a waste of time or something. So now, you know, when he's by my car, he's telling me like, you know, you're finna leave, like, might as well went for the road type thing. That's what he's saying. So I'm like, what? Like, so at this point, he's like, okay, well, I'm not going to press a relationship with her because she's leaving, but I'm still going to try to smash, you know? And I was just like, no, sir. So I ended up driving home or whatever. And I told my line sister about the date because she knows Skinny or whatever. So when I first left, I didn't even process how bad the date was. I just felt like, I knew I felt really uncomfortable, but I never even processed how bad the date was until I started telling my line sister. She was like, what? He said that to you? He said, Sierra, what? Like, she was really like shocked. And then I told my guy friends, like I told my line brother, and then I told my guy friend, and then he was like, they was like mad. They was like really mad. Like they wanted to like beat him up. Like they was really mad because like I guess I didn't realize like at that time that it was kind of disrespectful the way he was talking to me. Like you shouldn't talk to no woman like that unless y'all already like sexually active together or something, you know. But this is like our first date, so I'm looking like, dang, he really did kind of hold me a little bit, you know. And then I checked my phone, and then he ends up apologizing to me, and he was basically like, oh, I'm sorry if I was like doing too much sexual talk, blah blah, little dry apology or whatever. And so I was gonna say, oh, it's okay, because I'm just let everything go or whatever, but my thoughts is like, no, you need to tell him. So I was like, oh, it's okay, but I just think, you know, you was a little too blunt or whatever with the sexual talk, just a little too vulgar for me. And after that, like, I ended up, like, a couple weeks later, I ended up moving to New York. So, like, we didn't, like, date or anything. But we still, like, stayed in contact with each other, just, like, on social media and stuff. But nothing, like, nothing too big, you know, or whatever. But, like, now, looking back at the situation, I know I would, what I should have done is I should have put my foot down. I should have put my foot down, because once you give a nigga an inch, he gonna take a mile. And if you don't stop something, they're gonna do what you allow. So if you allow them to talk to you sexually like that, they're gonna keep talking to you sexually like that. And baby, they're gonna go until you, like, stop. And then that's when I learned what coercion is, you know. And they're really gonna try to, like, coerce you into doing stuff that you don't want to do. But your girl was not on that, because he just turned me all the way off. I'm like, 86. What? Like, no. But anyway, yeah. So that was basically the end of that date. Yeah, we never had no second date. If you like that story time, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Sierra.Celeste. Follow me on Twitter, Sierra Celeste. Baby girl, you know the vibes. Period.